We are a great nation of about 104 million people strong, and I take pride in myself being one true-blooded Filipino. I am 15, and my world is governed by circumstances, most of which I have no control over. At 15, I must admit that I am virtually helpless in the higher battleground of making policies about issues that will control the kind of life that I will live in this ever-changing world. At 15, I cannot yet be part of the decision processes, so I pin my hopes on people who will decide for me. At 15, I am a child no more, an adult not yet, and matured not quite. Though my consciousness has already brought me to the verge of bursting up to be a significant mammal in the affairs of the very system that directly affect our existence. I have been raised as a conservative Catholic. With due respect to other religious denominations, I was molded into taking hard-line stands on certain ethical and moral issues. Today, however, a very hot issue went into extreme scrutiny and intense deliberation: the reproductive health bill. Our present-day legislators have cast and sealed their stance on the issue, with the bill itself prevailing, but not without virtually dividing their sentiments. The decision is made, and it has to be supported. But my stand and your stand on the issues on morality and religious sanctity must be held high. At 15, my tender system is starting to be bothered by seemingly indigestible issues about public accountability, ethical standards, corruption practices, insensitivity, and misconcerns in practically almost all levels of public governance. I am not accusing anybody or any particular agency. With due respect to government offices with decent and noble intentions. But what we learn from the media, the internet, daily papers, and other published items are issues openly pinpointing to the moral decays of our society. A very disturbing environmental issue is the global warming, and the immediate effect is the thinning and melting of our polar ice caps. Consequently, when massive ice structures will melt into water, the tide level of our oceans will rise and will definitely affect our low-lying areas with inevitable flooding. In another scenario, we have a standing conflict with our regional neighbors, particularly the People's Republic of China, on the claims of the Western Philippine Seas and the Scarborough Shoals. The conflict can never be solved by war, as we can only beg for mercy, like a slingshot-toting David fighting a mightier Goliath who has laid down his sword for a shotgun. Until today, we seem to have waddled into the pool of our domestic problems, while our national leadership is putting its best effort to curb the roots of our problems. Our ultimate liberation from the bonds of poverty, criminality, corruption, and insensitivity is not readily in sight. Our next set of leaders will soon take over to continue and maintain the momentum of whatever gains that have been achieved. Your choice, therefore, not mine, will critically matter. Young as I am, the sense of right and wrong has already seeped under my tender skin, and I cannot in conscience tolerate those who perpetrate acts that pull down our identity and decency as a country and people. Soon, we will be engaging in a political exercise to choose the right people who will virtually outrun our lives for us. And if I were to be asked at 15, what are these leaders supposed to be made of. The first consideration will be the vision. A leader must foresee where his constituents will be in the next 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, or even beyond, bringing them to a place that is habitable and sustaining. The invictus attitude of a leader is necessary. One who, under bludgeoning of reality, will not winch nor cry aloud. And though his head is bloody, it will still be unbowed in the fulfillment of his mandated tasks. A leader must possess the political will to pursue his vision without wavering. A leader without a definite direction would tend to spiral into meaningless exercise and eventual loss of hopes and aspirations for a country like our very own Philippines. The ultimate consideration will be the moral uprightness, which will be the main trunk of all his decency and accountability in public service. His rewards shall be counted not by his fortune and fame, but by a great name that once fought to pull the Philippines out from the woods of uncertainty. We cannot anymore afford leaders who have hidden intentions other than clean and effective governance. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in a crisis situation where faulty decisions can lead to the doomsday of the modern times. At 15, I therefore lay my hopes, along with the hopes of my generation, with the choices that you are going to make. At 15, I ask you, will you fail me? Will you fail the generation I belong to? The choice is yours, and your choice will be my future and the future of the generations to come. Good afternoon.